successful at-bats in the bottom of the 10th inning, the walk, the sacrifice, and then obviously Trevino's hit. What did you see from him during that at-bat, because he was able to fight off a slider there at the end?
Yeah, I thought Stefan executed against him, you know, even probably up until the end, and Trevi just went to school, probably knew he was, you know, probably selling out to that slider, might have been below the zone. Maybe he probably wanted to expand a little more with it there, but, you know, on a wet night too, you worry about bouncing it. So just a good job of Trevi staying in the center of the field, probably knowing he's getting some spin there again and getting enough of it.
Going back to the ninth, Gonzalez's Bermuda Triangle hit, what did you see there, and how are your players doing post that hit?
Yeah, I think Harrison's going to be fine. You know, they want to make sure with all the tests and just make sure he's okay. I was just with him, and, you know, he was in really good spirits. So, but obviously not something we want to mess with or make sure he's okay. So he'll run through all the testing and stuff. But, yeah, I just saw it go up, and it's like, oh, man. I first looked at Glaber. At first I thought maybe he had a bead on it, and then I knew he didn't have it. So just hoping, you know, we could run into a great play out there, and he just dumped it out there perfectly.
I know Holmes is seemingly victimized by a ball that got in the lights with IKF, and then the hit we just talked about. Marinaccio had retired 5 in a row. What did you like about bringing in Holmes for Straw there?
Well, you know, with Chachi going yesterday, I really was kind of in that, wanted to keep him at 1 inning. Obviously, I was willing to use him in 2 ups there. And then Holmes is going to have to finish that game in the next inning anyway. So wanted to get him in there with 2 outs against the righty to maybe make a better setup for going into the ninth, knowing I'm going to have to get 4 outs with Holmes there. So that's what went into the decision.
Before the game, Brian Cashman had a pretty lengthy press conference. Part of what he said was, this is our team. This is the team we have right now. We need to perform. What did you see from the likes of Calhoun and Bowers and their at-bats? Because I think in spring training, you probably wouldn't have expected that they would be in the roles they are today.
Yeah, it's been good to see Willie the last 2 days, because I feel like that's the hitter he is. I feel like, you know, we kind of envision like that left-handed role. You know, if something at any point with Big G happened, I feel like he can really hit. And, you know, when he first came up, I feel like we saw those at-bats when we were actually in Cleveland, where he was, you know, got a couple hits, but smoked some balls, was on everything. Then the last, you know, week or 10 days or so, little struggles, putting the ball in play, just not with authority. And then the last 2 days, some big hits, obviously, a couple home runs, big 2-out hit to tie the game. And then Bowers, you know, it was impossible to ignore what he was doing in AAA. And then I think you saw, obviously it's a homer, and it's a great debut. But if you look at the at-bats, and even the at-bat there, the walk in the 10th there, pretty showy at-bat. He's in a really good place. Feel like he can really help us. He's impacting the ball. He's controlling the strike zone. He seems to be in a really good place. And, you know, now is that opportunity for some guys, and, you know, where you look for people to step up when things aren't perfect or you're down some guys. And unfortunately, we had those 2 guys, you know, in Willie's case, again, step up.
Dave.
Aaron, it was a pretty violent collision with Bader there. Did he hit his head, or was it his shoulder, or what was the...
Yeah, I'm still not sure. I mean, they're checking him for head and stuff, and all I can tell you is he was in good spirits and laughing in the training room, and they'll go through everything. So I think they want to check his neck and make sure everything's okay.
And with Peraza, was it his ankle? Did he roll going in? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Ron.
Oh, I have no idea. He's getting x-rays and everything, but I don't know.
Brian to the left.
Oh, I was going to ask about Peraza, but any kind of indication on what happened there?
I think he just, on the steal attempt, he rolled his ankle a couple steps into it, and that's why you saw him kind of hobbling and going in, standing up. And then when we had him run out there at second, he was just like, it wasn't very good, so got him out of there.
Gary.
I know you've expressed a lot of faith in Clay, but is there any hesitation going to him in that situation? Game tied, rain is coming down.
No, not hesitation going to him. He's coming in the game against, like, that's where we're going, whether it's with 2 outs there or in the next innings. Zero hesitation going to him. The one hesitation I had was, do I squeeze Marinaccio through one more hitter and then hand it over to Clay in the, I guess that would be the 10th? Would have been the 10th. So that was the only calculus, was do I stay a little bit longer with Marinaccio knowing he went yesterday? So that was the only hesitation. And look, I understand with Clay, obviously, you know, there's been a couple outings. Let's look at what's going on a little bit. Like, it's a little bit, I mean, the Bermuda Triangle, like, you can't, that's baseball sometimes. So obviously we got to get him to where he's the Clay we know, but he's a lot closer to that than, I think, the noise.
Chris.
With the Gonzalez hit, is that a product of some miscommunication between Isaiah and Harrison, or is it just that a play in no man's
I think
land?
that's just a no man's land, yeah.
Susan.
And what did you think of Schmidt tonight?
I thought Schmidt was good, and obviously we didn't help him in the first inning, where, you know, he got up to almost 30 pitches. We don't turn a tailor-made double play. You know, Rizzo gets caught gonna throw it to second, and then all of us. So, you know, a couple base runners we had, and then they do what they do, is putting a couple balls in play. I thought he settled in and made some pitches. He had some traffic, but I thought he threw the ball really well. So it was, you know, and with the off day tomorrow, I felt like we could, you know, get to the end of the game to how we wanted to, with him getting into the 5th there. And, but I thought he threw the ball well overall, and probably, you know, probably could have got a little bit deeper had it not been for that long first.